Well, welcome to another five-star conversation. We're actually here live in Bangkok, and today I have the pleasure of talking with Rene Balmer. Welcome, Rene.
Hello, welcome in Thailand.
Thank you very much. Thank you for agreeing to this conversation. We're talking to our Australian audience. This is the first time we've done a face-to-face international one, so I'm really looking forward to it. Rene, just as a bit of background, tell us about Chatrium Hotels and your current role.
Okay, Chatrium is a established company, more than 20 years in Thailand.
Yep.
It comes from residents background. The owners, which are well known in Thailand, Sopan Panich family. They own real estate, industry estates. They have international school, Shrewsbury School here.
Okay.
So which they have also overseas branches. So they well established, but about 20 years back, they went slowly into hotels, and now I joined about just short before COVID. So that's where they were about at 7-8 hotels, and they wanted to go a little bit more asset light. So with that, we're looking now for management contracts.
Yep.
We sign up already 2 projects which are operating. One in Japan, Niseko, the Chatrium Niseko, and here in Bangkok, the Chatrium, the smaller property. But now I have already 2-3 more leads coming up, also overseas, and one in Thailand, in Phuket. And currently we have about 12 hotels, mainly in Bangkok, large properties from 400 to 560 keys.
Wow. Yep.
And our pipeline looks also strong. We have 3 properties coming in Phuket, one in Samui, and then we have one under construction in Shanghai, outside Shanghai, 350 keys. So we quite coming as a small, medium brand into the market.
I love it. And how would you classify the properties? They're premium properties, right?
Yeah, we have a good range. So we're running actually on the Chatrium Hospitality 2 brands.
Yep.
So the Chatrium brand, which we scattered into 3 levels. So there's Chatrium brand, where we are here today.
Yep.
That's the premium level, which competes with other brands like Waldorf Astoria, that kind of range.
Yep.
And then the Chatrium brand, which is, I would position it as a JW Marriott level. And then the residences. And the Maitreya brand is a newcomer. So this is the first hotel, was about 9 years back taken over. And now we established 3 more hotels 3 years back. So that is the new brand, is more rooms property.
Yep.
Young, dynamic property, like I think every company establishes now.
Yep.
So that's our new brand, and I have there also a pipeline of 2-3 properties coming up. One in Bangkok, one in Phuket, actually 2 in Phuket, and one overseas. So again, we are a young, dynamic company looking forward for more properties nearby Southeast Asia,
Yep.
Australia.
Yep, that'd be good. We'd love to see the brand come to Australia. That'd be good. Tell us a little bit about your career background. I mean, you've been in hospitality for nearly 40 years or 40 plus years.
Yes.
How did you start in hospitality? I mean, a question I always like to ask is, you know, did you find yourself in hospitality, or did you choose hospitality, or did it choose you, is probably another way of putting it?
Yeah, I always wanted to be coffee server. So due to my, as I inherited issues with flour, so I had to move a bit away, and the kitchen was the closest.
Yep.
So since very small, I wanted to be chef, and that I think was the key point where I got in. And luckily, I got good apprenticeship, good hotel in Switzerland, and I worked myself up in the kitchen to executive chef. I was lucky again in a very early stage, I think was 28, when I was 28, to be chef at the Mandarin Hotel in Shanghai.
Wow.
So it was all quite fast and good coming together. And then I wanted to go overseas further to see more countries. So I came to Thailand, and here, due to the crash, I moved out in 97 to Mauritius. Then because it was too short, so I came back to Thailand, and then since ever I'm basically Bangkok based. I had 2 years in Phuket, but basically I established my career here. So from kitchen I went to the Dome at State Tower.
Okay.
And there I moved out of the kitchen into running operations. And then thereafter I get out completely and went into development.
Yeah.
So technical services. Then many people ask, how come you get into that direction?
It's a good question, actually, isn't it?
But it's coming from the kitchen, because in the kitchen you're touching many departments, especially engineering, housekeeping, etc. So from there you learn a lot. You learn to manage. And then I was not that far away, technical services, but again, I like to learn, I like to understand, I like to ask a lot of questions. And with that, I think gain a lot of knowledge to establish myself within that area. So was a great experience. And during those 10 years I worked in that field, I opened more than 40 hotels.
Yeah, I read that. That's impressive.
Was interesting, so I learned a lot, and again move further back to operations again.
Yep.
I joined here Chatrium, so it's back in operation running hotels, which I think is closer to my heart, having the hospitality on my fingertips.
So as group general manager, you oversee obviously the whole Chatrium operation.
Yeah, it's a little bit staggered different in our company, because the MD is the owner.
Yep.
So we don't have CEOs and presidents and whatever. So as a group general manager, basically I'm running the company with the owners together, and we're looking after everything. So basically from sales, marketing to the operation, everything.
Which I think is often a good thing, right? If there's not a chain of command, if something needs to be done, you can talk directly to the owner. You've got a relationship with the owner. Things can happen more quickly in a lot of more formal brands, let's put it that way. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, but basically whatever idea I have, I discussed with her, and then we say yes or no.
Yeah.
And the nice thing, she's very open-minded and looking always for efficiency. So sometimes new things are accepted.
Yep.
But again, it needs more time for myself to make sure those new things are properly implemented. You cannot just come up with ideas and let it hang. So it's important you're on the ball and working with the teams together to establish new initiatives or whatever we want to do.
Yep. I think on a technology point of view, I always say to people, you can have the world's best technology, but if you don't obviously implement it correctly and take the time and change people's habits, or even let guests know about the technology, then it doesn't matter how good it is. People are not going to use it.
Correct. Taking the words out of my mouth.
Definitely. So obviously during your career, from all the way from chef to group general manager, you've obviously had a lot of people as mentors and have influenced you. It doesn't have to be a particular person. Sometimes I find a lot of my guests say it was a parent or a grandparent was probably one of their guiding influences. Who have been your influences, and what is some of the best advice you've received that's held you in your career?
I would say it's mainly two people. One, my father, sure. He was a key person in that regard.
Yep.
Very precise and doing things till it works.
Yep.
So that was a very strong influence. But then I had a chef, which I take over from in Mandarin in Shanghai. A very organized person, very detailed, and was very, looking forward. So he was looking for problems, not actually solutions.
Yep.
So he tried to cover all the angles to make sure everything goes smooth. So I think from that part, he was quite influential.
I like that. So both of your mentors were all, your father, as you said, working on something until the solution came, and the other one looking ahead, to make sure that things didn't happen. He was always looking for challenges even before they happened. I like that.
Yeah, for especially, I'm a person, I look at all the problems.
Yep.
And I try to build also safety nets. So when you do something, you always have a buffer before something happened.
Yep.
So if something happened, you still have a net there where that could capture. So hopefully never anything big happens. So with that concept, I think I go quite far with it.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And you mentioned something that I picked up on is in your technical services role, your ability to ask questions and get to understand things. I think that's a really important skill. I found, and it sounds like that's something that your father, a trait that he had, working on things, understanding them, and yeah.
I think one should not be afraid to ask questions, because if you don't know, you don't know. I think if you open and you ask serious, to the point question, you also get the right answers back.
Yep.
And especially I was lucky with having good consultants, and those people were supporting by taking time to explain certain things and maybe a little bit more.
Yep.
But then there I got the depth knowledge of how air condition work, how elevator speeds need to be calculated. So all this kind of thing is now embedded, and it's good to know, because as a hotel manager, things like that you usually don't think about.
Yeah.
And if you have all this technical background, you walk through a hotel complete different than I would say not only a GM, but as a GM, you walk around, you look, maybe the wallpaper looks nice, the floor is clean, but you don't see the big picture behind how that is put together.
Yeah, it is a skill. It is a skill, definitely. I always like to ask, is there a particular trend in our industry at the moment that either excites you or scares you? It doesn't have to be our industry, it could be the world itself, I suppose, that,
Now political issues go very turbulent, so I don't go there.
Politics and religion.
Yeah. So sure, in hospitality, it's very traditional, and it needed a long period that it start to catch up on technology.
Yeah.
Technology, sure, whatever you do now, it will affect.
Yeah.
So important is that we are not too fast, but also not the last.
Yeah.
Because at the end, if you're the first, maybe you jump on a bandwagon which is finished within 1 or 2 years.
Yep.
So it's important to look at the companies you choose, that they are long-lasting, or that you know they will be staying in the business, and then ensure that you really have systems which you can expand on. Because nowadays everybody come up with an app or with a certain add-on, and then at the end you pay a lot and the core is missing. So important is always that you are enabled to plug in things, and that a certain way goes ahead. And in hospitality, for me, the PMS is the heart.
Yes.
So there you need to work with it and then plug in whatever you need. So guests want to be easy coming in, have a fast check-in. So we need to support that the person at the front desk is still having the guest relations, but then the technology basically takes everything away.
Yep.
So that's what we're looking at. Or you walk in a guest room, you don't want to automate too much, because a guest is first time in a room, so they don't know how the buttons work. So it's easier to close a curtain by hand than searching for the button. So there, I think we have to be careful how we push in hospitality.
You're speaking my language. It's, with a guest, the average length of stay being sort of often less than 2 nights. If we make things too complex, you're right. It's like they can't work out how to turn off the bedside light or to close the blinds. And often they've seen hotels where the guest will just force the blind shut and perhaps damage the motor or something like that. Have you seen changes in guest expectations? I mean, coming out of COVID, personally, I think guests are now more accepting of technology and more willing to use it. Have you noticed that in your hotels?
Yeah, I think that's one of our core points which I'm at the moment focus on, to have our processes all automated.
Yep.
But then the guest is not coming because we have a easy check-in or a mobile key or whatever.
Yep.
They're coming for holiday to experience.
Yep.
So the systems is basically background to ease the stay.
Yeah.
But then the focus is on experience. So our aim is focusing everywhere what we can do with neighbors, the neighborhood, to offer certain experiences to customers so that they come and use the room as a stay, have exciting meals, like breakfast, dinner or whatever. And then outside they can go and experience, as example here for Bangkok or wherever they are. But I think experience is the key part which people looking now for.
Yeah, you make a really good point. I think guests are not coming for the technology. That is just part of the process to smooth the check-in or whatever. It's all about experience these days more so. In our industry, we've got the chains that have, some of the chains have 30, 40 plus brands now. They're creating lifestyle brands. Do you think we will go too far in creating lifestyle brands? I mean, you've got 3 brands at the moment. A lot of hotel groups, I think, have, as I said, 30 plus brands. It's a bit confusing, do you think?
I think for the brands, it's business.
Yeah.
So they're not creating for lifestyle or whatever. They just try to target new customer to get more flags.
Yeah, true.
I think that's what the big brands do. For us, it's try to cover all the levels of tourists.
Yep.
So you have from high-end luxury down to young, savvy customer, which also the budgets are accordingly. So then that's what we try to cover. And we don't have that many hotels like Marriott or Hilton.
Yep.
So we focus on those, and I think we try to give the best experience on that level. So again, I think big hotel chains, they may create another boutique hotel just to satisfy another 20 or 30 hotels for their stock market to be raised or their shares go up. No?
Yeah, to get another owner. We can differentiate the properties.
Yeah, because usually you have a radius where you are allowed to build. So if you have already your certain flags there, then it's no more possible to expand. No?
That's a good point. If we were to look ahead, I suppose, 10 years, what do you think is going to change in hospitality? And is there something you think we should be doing now to get ready for that?
Yeah, I would say, like I mentioned, I think the basic processes try to automate.
Yep.
So usually when you look at a P&L, the main costs is administration and utilities. Now those two you can tackle with system. So with AI and all these kind of things, accounting can be cut down, HR can be cut down. Also cut down means for large hotel you still need a relationship, but I mean basic paperwork that can be all automated.
Yes.
So try to reduce administrational cost and then still keep a certain customer relation. I think that's the key part for especially 4.5-star up hotels. If you go below like 3-star, I think automation is a key because employee cost is quite high. So from that part, I think it's not negotiable. You have to go that direction. So it's like an airline. You have less and less stewardesses and you have your automated check-in. So I think for low-rated hotels, you go that direction, but the luxury segment will not change because customers on that level, they still want to have the personalized service and they will not give that up. So if you make them upset with app and not give service, then you lose out even in 10 years.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I agree. We'll see. I think even, as you said, in the budget chain, there will be staff there. I think there'll always be the need. It's a little bit like on my trip over was with Qantas. Yes, it was check-in on the kiosk and it's good, but then you get to the baggage drop and, the machine didn't like my bag and it was not going to accept it.
In the service industry, you never will be running out of people.
Correct.
So again, it's different knowledges which you need to have. In 5-star is more specified. You have all your chefs, your stewards, front office, which need to bring their services. But as more you go down, then as example in a kitchen, you would have finished products which are easier to produce and finish to get the consistency.
That's true.
So that the expectations are still met. So you just skin the cat different ways.
I like that. Yeah, that's true. And as a guest, as you said, if you're staying, overnight at a 3-star property or whatever, your expectations are significantly different when you're staying in a luxury property. And so the service levels need to be different as well.
Correct. But again, I think from a hotel standpoint, you have to have your key features right. So I always say the bed, the TV, the bathroom. So you need to have your good water pressure, the hot water, a good mattress, so they have a good sleep and good entertainment. So if that is met, I think even as a 3-star hotel, you can be very successful.
Yeah.
So I think it's always the key part. And as higher you go, it's more the personalized service you have to deliver.
Yep. And I think I'm just thinking about those moments of truth. They say sometimes that the first and the last experience that you have in anything, be it an Uber, be it a hotel, if the last experience being checkout or something is actually negative, it can poorly influence the rest of your stay. So it comes back to technology as well, and I suppose streamlining that experience just to make it easy.
Like I said, we're working very hard on that processes. So currently it's about pre-check-in and check-out. So at the end, you don't want to have a hassle at the front desk. So for us, basically all hotels, they have free minibar. So you not go down to the front desk and get a question, did you have a Coke? So I think that's the minibar question, which is unnecessary.
Yep.
So all these kind of thing, we always should look from a customer standpoint.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think all these small things have to go away.
Yeah.
And when you have a smoothless check-in, you check your folio, you press OK, because credit card swipe was done already.
Yep.
So your deposit is there, you click the button and you checked out, you go and bring the key. So then the key is at the front desk or concierge or door boy. That they farewell you fondly, and then you still have your exciting farewell. Again, it's all about technology to make it smooth, but it should not be impact the customer experience. I think that's the people still, and that's in now or in 10 years or 20 years. I think that will never change. If you want to be really on a good service level.
Yes. Yeah, the technology is there just to enable the staff and the team to deliver that better experience.
I think in that part, you look at the airline industry. You still go back to Emirates, Singapore Airlines, which has service. They still regard it as but how you check in, how you do all these things is all kind of automated. So I think it will go similar direction. So the big brands or big exclusive hotels which have their service, they will be still successful.
Very true. I was just thinking about advice to somebody who's currently looking at hospitality as a career. I mean, you've had a long career from chef right through technical services to group GM. You've moved countries. What advice would you give to somebody looking at hospitality as a career?
If one likes challenges and move around the world, I think best job to have. Because in a hotel you have different jobs basically. You have front office, you have sales, you have marketing, you have chef, so you have general management. So everything is possible. And everybody has to start small. Like I started by cleaning and cooking and peeling, and I'm doing what I'm doing now. But at the end, I think to know any job, if it's a big conglomerate or it's a hotel, I think you have to know the basics first. And if you go into the hotel, I think you can choose any job, be it front office if you like to be polished. You like to create, you go into the kitchen. You like to be innovative, you go to sales and marketing. So everything is there. And then do what you love. I think that's the most important thing.
That's a really good point. In your experience, as you move through your career, is there something that you think people that I've seen were quite willing to accept a challenge, really? Even if they didn't know how to do it, they would put their hand up and say, look, I've never done that job before, but you give me some training, I'll do it. Is that what you found as well? I mean, obviously going from chef to general management?
Basically, I'm, again, a person who likes to learn more. So I think that's a key part. You want to be interested in new things.
Yes.
So it's like IT for me, or technical things coming easy to me because I'm interested in. So I can talk with our IT director and tell him what to do because I know details, because I'm interested in. So from that part, I think you have to be open-minded. And like I mentioned earlier, if you don't know, then you ask. So if someone is afraid and thinks he knows it all, they will fall sooner or later. So for me, it was always something, if I don't know, I ask. And if I don't know, I don't know. So, and that's the best way forward, I think. Being open-minded and learn. And I was lucky. I always got into a position by reference or whatever. I did not have to. I think I only applied 1 or 2 times, and that's it. And even here, I was referred to. So normally, I think if you do a good job, people recognize and they will come after you. I think that's important, so that you show you are capable, you are open-minded, you come with new suggestions, you come with problem-solving ideas. I think then you do the right thing.
Yeah, I like that. A willingness to learn, I think, as you said, and being open-minded and being willing to sometimes put yourself outside your comfort zone and learn new things. And as you said, if you don't know, ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask.
Correct.
I like that. As we get ready to wrap up, is there anything else, Rene, that you'd like to bring forward or let people know? If they need a Chatrium hotel in Australia, please reach out to Rene.
We are open, yes. Basically, Chatrium, like I said, is going to go now in asset light.
Yep.
We have about 75% hotels owned.
Yep.
So now, the past 3 years, we got a couple of management contracts. So now my aim is to develop in Southeast Asia and Australia. So that's the key focus now. So we have 3-4 contracts which I mentioned under signing, working on contracts. So and Australia sure is a hot topic, interesting to go. That's actually one country which I never visited.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well,
one of
definitely need to.
many I saw till now.
Okay.
So, but sure, I would love to go over there.
We'd love to have you. Rene, thank you so much for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.